Richard was forcibly removed from his barracks room there on Fort Bliss in El Paso, Texas, for being a whistleblower, in one of the biggest, largest criminal scandals. Um, I would say the United States, maybe bigger than that, has ever seen. And his life was taken from him, and his body was stolen, and not treated too well. He wasn't treated too well for a whistleblower, for a distinguished honor graduate, for a stellar soldier. He wasn't treated really well by his chain of command and by the institutions that are supposed to guard our security and bring the society there in El Paso peace. Right? They're supposed to bring security and peace. This is what our taxpayer money. They're supposed to prosecute crime. This is our country. We pay a lot of taxes to have this security. And there was a breach of security everywhere. That caused not just a little breach of security for a stolen cookie or something. No, we're talking about major crimes against humanity here. And Richard would not put up with it. He would not put up with it. He became a whistleblower. He would not go along. He could not be compromised because they absolutely have a system to compromise everybody so that they can continue their criminal activity and blackmail and everything. And that's why I really believe that the whole Jeffrey Epstein situation is very connected to Richard, because it's the same MO of compromising to blackmail to continue the criminal trafficking, the businesses that go along with that to launder money, and the fraud in the businesses. The businesses are fraudulent, and we have seen a huge example of this thanks to Elon Musk lately with his X. And I've been wanting to post about that because I think it's so important to understand what he just did and how that connects to Richard's case. Thank you, Laura, for coming on this Thanksgiving Eve. And I'm coming on a little before 11 o'clock. I try to get on at 10 every day. And as you see, sometimes it gets so late and there's no time to sleep. And that's noticeable that there's no time to sleep because we're trying to catch the bad guys here. We're trying to get this all legally done. Submit file all of the documents so that we can get our son's remains and that we can get the bad guys legally. And that's a hard task. You saw that just recently with two very, very bad guys that went out, that weaponized their position to go after President Trump, Comey, and what's her name? What's her name up in New York, and their cases got dismissed because um, of this prosecutor that the appointment is up for question. And that's a reality. That is maybe not in that case. I think they're going to appeal it, and we'll see what the documents showed. But in our son's case, with the prosecutors, are absolutely failing to be installed correctly, right? Or they disenfranchise the voters, and they just choose judges, right? They just absolutely go against democracy, and they just choose some, appoint some judges when clearly the Texas Constitution says when a court has full countywide jurisdiction, those judges must be elected by the people. And not one judge on the El Paso Criminal Law Magistrate Court is elected that we know of. Not one of them. There hasn't been an election. So more than a decade these individuals have been, sitting there without any authority, without any legitimate authority. And it's a deception. It's an absolute deception. And all the security that we have is a deception too. And of course, the funeral home business in El Paso is a deception also. And that is really hard to say. But because you're like, no, please don't say that, because my loved one had just gone through that system. And so I understand, because this is very personal to us too, about Richard and what they did, and so many other families, hundreds of families, what they've done. And I think more than that, more than that. This is uh, really needs to be addressed. This breach of security, this um, not following, not following the Constitution, and so we are absolutely filing, filing, filing. We won't give up. We had some very interesting calls this week. That's why there's no time to sleep, because that's why we get on so late. So today, I think it's because tomorrow is Thanksgiving. And of course, we have Team Fine Richard Halliday there. Um, and we've gotten evidence and evidence. I think we're the only ones that have posted Rosa Maria, her picture with her family picture. And she's a purchase. Okay, she's a purchase. And there is a question out there saying, so all Purchases funeral homes are owned by these people? That is a very, very good question, because who owns it, right? So the going information is that Salvador Purchase Jr. owns Purchase Funeral Home, but there's other things involved, because you have certain land, you have um, uh, the rat infested, even maggot infested, Plenitude Narco Crematorium, the land that it sits on and everything, and how Purchase Funeral Home has used it. It's like Purchase Funeral Home is like the front of the store, and a Plenitude Crematorium is the back of the store. That's kind of, I hope that clarifies, but more information is coming out, so that we can get to the bottom of this, so that we can get Richard's remains, so that we can absolutely honor Richard the way he should absolutely be honored. And he's, even the President of the United States in his letter said that Richard's legacy is indelible, and that he's deserving of every respect, of all respect from every American. And we agree with that, not because we're his family, but because the evidence declares that. And so for Thanksgiving, we are absolutely going to have a great time, right? We're going to have a great time, because Thanksgiving, that is just a wonderful time to know that God is in control of all of this. And we're very grateful for Him for that, because God's hand has been all over this case, from the very way way back before it even happened. He prepared us all, in our family, for this very thing. It's just so incredible. And finding out the identity of Nadal Baim was just a miracle. It was just a miracle. And there's been many, many other miracles in this case. And so we're um, very grateful for God that He's exposing all of this. And you can say, why did He do this? Why did He do this? Well, I think we know why He has done this now. And that is because the exposure of this criminal syndicate or criminal network that is just really doing awful things. Awful things to children, awful things to women, awful things to whistleblowers. Um, it's, they don't have a good history. So that's for, and I have to be so careful the way I speak because this is all documented. This is all recorded, all documented for future hearings, future court cases, and we're just like we've been ready. We've been ready for a long time to do that, but God has His own timing, and every day there seems to be new new issues that need to be addressed, new crimes that need to be addressed, to say it more accurately, and more information that needs to be revealed in finding Richard's perpetrators, his body, and also justice, right? Justice. So, yeah, know that Plenitude Crematorium, Narco Crematorium, is absolutely connected with Purchase Funeral Homes. Okay, know that. That is very important because Purchase Funeral Homes is dominant, totally dominant. They are the king of funeral homes in the Borderplex, and it's their history needs to be scrutinized, and their intentions need to be scrutinized because there's so much deception where they wear like a Christian robe or something or Christian words, and they deceive us while committing the most horrendous crimes behind the scenes and extortion. So, if a soldier that's a whistleblower can be forcibly removed and his life taken, um, if that can happen in our military, on our military installation, then we're in big trouble. And that's why this case is so important. And the bad actors are being revealed. Absolutely. So thank you, Anicia, for coming on, and I hope everyone has a very, very happy Thanksgiving. Like I said, we had some very interesting phone calls, and those phone calls would only come unless they knew that we were putting it all together. We were putting it all together, and yeah, this is not about Democrat and Republican. No, because look at Ted Cruz. He's up to no good. Greg Abbott up to no good. And then, of course, you have the whole opposing side up to no good, right? I would just want to make sure that I speak very carefully. So, okay, thank you so much, everyone. It is really amazing to see the pictures come in, the information come in, working. It's like 5 pages long of another criminal complaint. Um, it is really amazing to see how it's all coming on. But really know that Rosemary Purchase Ariano um, is absolutely connected to Purchase Funeral Homes. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you. And we love you too. God bless you. And I will be back tomorrow, God willing.